So now we have catastrophic wildfire. Remember when they used to be called forest fires? Now they're called wildfires? Well, that's man. That's the hand of man. What's happened is we let those forests grow thick and thatched. In a fire-dependent ecosystem, we eliminated fire. Smokey the Bear in all this was wrong. We shouldn't stamp out fires, we should welcome fires. And now with the vastness of everything that's happened with industry and logging and oil and gas and recreation, we have what they call a fragmented ecosystem. So now we have to start picking and choosing what we do here and there and here and there. And if we choose the wrong thing, we are gonna make this problem worse. Is that what we want? No. What we want is we want to reverse. We want to reverse all this human impact and start turning it into a positive thing for our environment instead of a negative thing. And there's a way to do that. And it's using an equation I use and had developed over many, many, many years in my tree career. It's called utilitarianism. And in the dictionary, it's greatest good for greatest number. In the Webster's grade 11 dictionary, it's greatest good for greatest number. It also says, should be the purpose of human conduct. Well, key word is should. Now, we can decide whether we should do the right thing or should not do the right thing. And that's where the agency of man comes in, where we decided to do much that we shouldn't have done to our planet. And now we're ending up with this. Well, what do we do from here? Do we keep doing it and making things worse? Or do we do a reversal? Do we change that behavior? We change that philosophy. We change that conduct into something that we should be doing. Utilitarianism is actually the owner's manual to Earth for humans. Because why would you dump a bunch of garbage in the ocean? That is not utilitarian if we cared about our planet. So we do it. Why? Because we should not do it because of political, economic, social, whatever types of behavior. We chose to do that as a people, as a race. It happened. And now what are we going to do about it? Well, let's go clean it up. No, let's not go clean it up. Let's go put more there. It just doesn't make any sense. So there's anti-utilitarian behavior, which is happening everywhere. And that's what clear-cut logging is in our forest. We should not have been clear-cut logging any of this. We should have been brushing and weeding and thinning and spacing. And yeah, the economic benefit isn't as much as going and mowing a whole entire mountain hillside down, stealing all those trees, shipping them to a mill, making them into a 2x4, creating a suburban environment, and then having all that pollution that comes with it, like landfills, highways, tar, emissions, gas-fired furnaces, etc., 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 etc. Our water, our air. So this clear-cut logging is actually the start to all this that we do. So if we decided to stop, put a moratorium on it, and start doing what we should be doing to our forest, generating a harvest, but using value-added techniques in what we did with our lumber, we would make an enormous amount of money as a people. We would produce way more nicer houses and small family farms and places where there can be equitable benefit for families, growing, prospering, instead of one man owning all those trees. We need to spread this all out so that it can be done right. And that's kind of what I'm here for, is the philosophy of utilitarianism. To be a utilitarian is key and paramount to making a difference on how this planet is going to be looked upon by ourselves now our children in the future, and everything that comes after us. Let's do the reversal. There's a way we can use this equation and science and technology and intelligence and positive thinking and start quickly making this change. We've been accused in Canada as doubling our emissions or doubling our impact on global warming. Well, we should be at the forefront of this instead of at the tail end. So we have to get this together. And our kids' kids, even now in our own lifetimes, this could fail. This is the only way out. And that's it. And right now, I would like to do a sample of how we use utilitarian behavior in a forest that is so thick and so thatched and so ready for a catastrophic wildfire that decimates everything in its path. A dragon per se that literally looks for inaction in the forest that's thick and thatched, and whether it's a dry lightning strike, a spark from a quad, a cigarette thrown out the window, whatever that ignition point is, a bush party gone bad, whatever that is what we have to eliminate. Stop, then start again. I had these made up here last year. It says save Banff, Canmore, and Bragg Creek. Well, using this equation we can, but we can only do it starting now. If we wait a week, 2 weeks, a month, it could all be laid waste by this dragon that laid waste to Fort Mac and Slave Lake and on, Waterton. If the Parks Canada let that happen to Waterton, they'll let that happen to Banff. Banff is way worse because the evacuation to Banff is to the number one. While in my fuel load assessment that I did in the last 9 years, the number one highway is enormously overfueled. And therefore their evacuation plan is flawed. Not only flawed, but bound to fail. And at what life is that going to be at with 120K winds, 100-foot wildfire? There's no way of getting out. So my proposal is let's start right here, right now, and give her